Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
So this morning, let's begin on our backs. So you can come into any comfortable place on your back. Any added support that you might need. If laying on your back is not comfortable, you can also stay in a seated position. We'll be here for a little bit, not forever. So if even being in a seated position for too long is too much, you can always lean up against a wall or a couch. So as you come to lay down, I just want you to find your feet rooted on the floor. So this works wherever you are at. And then sometimes it helps a little bit to kind of wiggle. To just kind of settle yourself into the space this morning. And allow your hands to rest on your belly. You can start to close your eyes or just invite a softness through the gaze. Just begin to observe the parts of your body that are connected with the floor. Begin to observe your breath. Just feeling the air come in and the air go out. Softening through the jaw. Softening through the muscles of the face. Softening through the shoulders and the hips. And the fingers and the toes. With your hands on your belly, you can feel the belly rise and fall as you breathe. And just start to feel as if you're trying to fill the hands a little bit more as you inhale. And feel as if you're trying to let the belly release away from the hands as you exhale. And now just add this deepness slowly and gradually. And it's really just about bringing more intention to the breath. Our body breathes involuntarily throughout the day. We don't notice it. So when we get on our mat, it's an opportunity to just observe it a little bit more and check in. Just start to bring a little bit of movement into the knees. So just a gentle windshield wiper. Maybe the hips get involved in the rock, maybe they don't. Just checking in and observing and noticing your body this morning as you move. And then pausing with the knees back up to the sky. Allow your right knee to come in towards your chest. So you can use your hands or one hand. It doesn't matter if it comes straight in or if it comes a little out to the side. Give it a little squeeze, maybe even give it some little circles. Feeling that circle come from the hip joint. So like you're moving the leg going around the edges of the hip. And then let the knee kind of pause into the chest. So you'll have a little bit of activation, a little bit of an active movement. And then just extend the leg up to the sky and then bend the knee again. So really feeling your low back press into the floor as you bend and straighten the leg. Maybe even adding a little bit of weight into the left foot. It's a little bit more active because we're not using the hands to hold. And then the next time the foot is up towards the sky, it doesn't matter how straight the knee is, pause. So really activating that hip flexor on the right side. And it doesn't matter if your leg is down here or if it's straight up to the sky. But then let's bring the leg all the way down to the floor and keeping the leg straight. So relaxing and releasing the hip flexor after giving it a little bit of activation there. Take a deep breath. And let your right foot come back onto the floor. So with the knee pointing up to the sky. And let the left knee come into the chest. You can use your hands Maybe it's to the middle, maybe it's out to the side. You can invite some circles. Sides will likely be a little different. So not judging, just noticing. Also noticing the tone of your breath as you move, as you add movement, as you change shape. And then kind of just let the knee float somewhere in the middle as you bring your hand down. So again, just a little bit of activation, a little active, less passive here. And then extend the leg up to the sky, and then we'll take that a few times. So bending and straightening. Doesn't matter how straight the leg gets. Kind of just noticing the lengthening and shortening of the muscles on the back of the leg. The next time the toes are up to the sky, pause. Use your breath. Doesn't matter again where your leg is paused. And then allow the leg to come all the way to the floor. Releasing the front of the head. Check in with your breath. Allow your foot to come on to the floor, knee pointing up to the sky. And just stretch your arms up overhead. It doesn't matter how far they stretch. It's like you're taking a deep morning stretch in the upper body. And allow the arms to come back by your side. And walk your feet as wide as your mat. So if you're not on a mat, just feel like your feet are trying to walk a little bit wider than your hips. And then let's find that windshield wiper again. Try to make it a little bit deeper this time. So really let the hip come into the movement. Next time the knees are pointing up to the sky, pause and let both knees come into the chest and use your hands. You can rock the knees from side to side. And let's roll to one side, pick your favorite. Pause in that fetal position. So let's just keep the weight up off of the spine for a moment. It doesn't matter if you rolled off your mat. And then use the strength of your arms and press yourself all the way up to sit. So let's come into a comfortable seated position. So if you need a little bit of more padding underneath your booty, you can come to sit on a pillow or a blanket. And let's actually take the legs wide to start. Scoop myself back a little bit. It, again, doesn't matter how wide. Notice that if you come wide, if you start to kind of scoop the belly back, that's where I want you to sit up on a blanket. And if you don't have something nearby, but you're on a mat, you can always roll up the back of the mat just to add a little bit of height. You feel as if you're trying to sit towards the front of those sit bones, those bony points. And just point and flex the feet a few times. You can always add a little bit underneath the knees to lift the knees up a little bit if it's too much for the legs to be totally straight. Lots of different ways to add support here. Advantage of being home sometimes is that we have maybe lots of pillows and blankets. And start to reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Take that deep morning stretch again. And bring your hands towards your legs, maybe in between them. Feel as if the crown of your head is reaching up to the sky. And then start to walk the hands a little forward. So maybe they go a centimeter, maybe they go an inch, maybe they go 12 feet, wherever they go. Always bring yourself back to your breath. Moving into everything nice and mindfully and gently, especially when we practice first thing in the morning. If you just got out of bed, you tend to be a little bit more creaky than maybe we are as we move through our day. Just start to walk your hands towards the right leg. So getting just a little bit of a side stretch, a little bit of a twist on the left side. Always coming back to your breath. Walk your hands back towards the middle and then just over to the left side. So again, it really doesn't matter how far you go, just adding a little bit of a different stretch so we're not just straight down the middle. And likely noticing a shift in the sensation in the legs and the lower back. Probably in the breath too, so just always bringing yourself back. Come all the way back to the middle. Walk your hands in. Take your hands behind you and just kind of shake out the legs. And we'll cross the legs, whatever is a comfortable cross for you. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Stretch it nice and tall. Reach the right hand towards the floor on the right side, and then just reach through the left side. Come all the way back to the middle, reach the arms up. And then bring your left hand down and stretch and reach through the right. Come all the way back up. Let's add a twist. So twist to the right. Left hand towards your right knee. Your right hand is a kickstand behind you. Reach your arms all the way back up to the sky and twist over to the left. Come all the way back to the middle, reach the arms up. And then let's change directions. Come onto our hands and our knees. You need a little padding underneath the knees, add a blanket or roll up the edges of the mat. And begin to move through some cat-cows. So they don't have to be the traditional cat-cow, but dropping your belly and rounding the spine. Maybe you kind of rock a little bit, add a little bit of extra movement as you move the spine in any direction. Use your breath to guide you, always checking back in with your body. And start to find a child's pose. So just allow your hips to sink towards your heels. Your knees can be closer together or further apart. Find a rounding through the spine. Come all the way back towards your tabletop position. And then make your way into a downward facing dog. So again, freedom of movement as you get there. You can walk your dog, you can wag your tail. And then begin to roll forward into a plank position. So that plank can always be with your knees down. So think like a little bit longer than your tabletop if your knees are dropped. Really focus on the engagement of the core. So feel as if you're zipping up through the midline. One deep breath. And come back to your downward facing dog. Drop your knees back to the floor, coming towards a tabletop position. I'm just gonna turn myself around. And then extend your right leg behind you. So to start, you can keep the toes curled under on the floor and just press back through the heel. And then start to lift the leg up. So really engaging through the glutes and the hamstrings. Try to find equal balance on the hands. If it's too much on your wrist, drop onto your forearms, but still focus on that lift through the belly. And then bring your right knee towards your right elbow. It doesn't matter if it touches, just focus on that external rotation of the knee coming out to the side. And extend the leg out long. And then tap the toes all the way over to the left. So keeping the leg straight and maybe even look over your left shoulder trying to find the toes. Lift the leg back up, lifting through the hamstrings and the glutes. And then bring the knee over to the right. and lengthen it back out. Tap the toes over to the left. So it doesn't matter where they are at the left, just over to the left side. Lift the leg up, just one more of each. Bring the knee to the right. Extend it out, just feeling that left hip. Tap the toes over to the left. Really working that stability, those stabilizing muscles. Lift the leg back up and release the knee down. Let's find a child's pose before we shift to the other side. Especially if you were on your hands, it might feel good to roll out your wrists or even just turn your palms up to the sky. And come back to your table. And remember, you can always take your table on your forearms. You don't have to stay on your wrist. But if you want to stay on your hands and your wrists are feeling a little tight today, I know mine are, maybe you come onto the fist. So you're pressing the fist into the floor. So you're just working on lengthening the wrist, but you're still up a little higher. So extend your left leg back. Keep the toes curled under to start. Just press back through the heel, get a little gentle stretch through the calf. And then lift the leg up hip height. Engaging through the glutes and the hamstrings, that's where your lift is coming from. And bring your knee over to the left, elbow hitch. Doesn't matter if it touches or is anywhere near it for that matter. And then extend it all the way back out, keeping the legs straight. Just tap the toes over to the right. So we're really working, we're moving the left leg, but we're working the muscles on the right. Lift the leg back up and bring the knee to the left. Kick it all the way back out. Tap the toes over to the right. Lift the leg back up, one more of each. Knee to the left. Kick it back out. And then toes to the right. Come all the way back, release the knee to the floor. Let's come back toward the child's pose. Come through your tabletop into your down dog. Again, any movement, you can walk your dog, wag your tail. Really rooting into the fingertips, so taking a little bit of weight out of the heels of the hands. We'll begin to step our right foot forward, so you can always drop your knees to bring your right foot forward. And bring your hands up onto your thigh. So if you need extra padding on the back knee, make sure you have it. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky, low lunge. We'll add a little twist here, so reach your right arm back and your left arm forward. So you're keeping your head and your shoulders and hips all aligned. You can always do this with the back knee lifted. Yeah, and then come all the way back up to the middle. Bring your hands all the way to the floor. Press your back knee away from the floor if it's not. And then really press off the ball of the back foot like it's launching you forward to come towards a forward fold. And remember that forward fold can always be hands on the tops of the thighs and kind of lifted through the torso. Press into your feet and rise all the way up to stand, stretching your arms all the way up to the sky. Stretch them nice and tall like you're in that deep morning stretch. Maybe even lean a little bit to the right and the left. Release your arms down by your side. Just roll the shoulders back. And roll them forward. And let the arms relax by your side. Stretch the arms all the way up to the sky. Again, take a lean over to the right and over to the left. And allow your hands to find your hips. Shifting the weight into your left foot. We're going to come into a balance. So you can always use the wall or something next to you. We'll find a tree pose today. So you'll plant your foot, I'll just turn, on the inside of the calf or the thigh, or you can even have the toes on the ground and at the ankle. Feel as if your left leg is pressing into your right foot and your right foot is pressing into your left leg. So everything is hugging to the midline. Feel the crown of your head reach tall. You can always change the position of the arms, perhaps reaching them all the way up to the sky. It just shifts your balance. Find something in front of you that's not moving. It's okay if you fall out. Use your breath, find your focus. Find just the intention and the mindful movement. One more. And nice and slow, let the foot come to the floor. Stretch the arms all the way up. Come to our hands on our thighs, a little bend in the knees. Lifting through the heart, lifting through the torso. We'll step our right foot back. So we're gonna come into that lunge on the other side. So however it takes for you to get there, bring the right foot back. Allow the knee to come to the floor. You can bring your hands to the top of the left thigh. You can always have the back leg lifted. You're just firing up the muscle a little bit more. And stretch the arms all the way up to the sky. And take that twist. So reach the left arm back and the right arm forward. Reach the arms all the way back up. Hands towards the floor. Come to a child's pose. So I know we have to tree on the other side, don't worry. We won't forget. Let's just take a pause in child's pose. Come back through the table into your downward facing dog. You'll walk your hands and feet together. So it doesn't matter how, doesn't matter where you land. Come towards that fold. Let's call it just a halfway lift today. Your hands are on your thighs, your knees are a little bent like you're in a huddle. Press into the feet, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, stretch it tall. Let your arms come by your side. Shift the weight into your right foot. Yeah, that's the other side. We'll find tree on the left side. So your left foot is gonna find somewhere on the right leg. Your sides are totally different. Use whatever support you need. Find something in front of you that's not moving. Feel everything hug into your midline. Use your breath. One more. It's okay to be wobbly. Now you can always change the position of the arms. And release the foot down. Just rock your hips a little bit from side to side. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Lean over to the right. And over to the left. Come back to the middle. We'll find our way into a seated position. So just coming back to sit on your mat. So add your blanket or a pillow underneath you. It's gonna change the angle here. Yeah. So when you set yourself up, I want you to bring your feet on the floor, your hands behind you, and just feel this little windshield wiper. So the same thing that we did on our back at the very, very beginning, but now we're seated. And then sit yourself up and bring the soles of the feet together. Just like on the edge of my rug here. I'm just scoot a little forward. Bring the soles of the feet together, the knees line for butterfly legs. And sit up nice and tall. Staying there, or just start to lean slightly forward. Lift yourself up just a little bit and extend your right leg long so you can keep your left leg bent. And then just come back towards that little bit of a forward fold. So just changing the positioning of the legs. Lift yourself all the way up. And just switch legs. So extend the left leg, bend the right leg. It doesn't matter if you were opposite, just do the other side. And you can lean a little forward again. This again doesn't really matter how far you go. Maybe observe for a moment at the beginning of class if you had both legs wide. Observe if there's any changes. Maybe, maybe not. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. Start to bring yourself up. Can bend both legs or extend both legs to shake it out. And begin to make your way onto your back. And when you come onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Really give them a squeeze. We were just in a fold, so maybe find a little massage on the lower back. And find some circles. And go the other way. And allow the knees to drop over to the right. So coming into a spinal twist. So the knees can stay stacked or you can cross one leg over the other. Just take a moment to notice what's happening with your spine. So you might need to bump your hips a little bit to the left so that your spine stays in one line. And bring your left arm out to the side. Maybe creating a little bit of resistance by gently pressing through the shoulder. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. Allow the knees to come all the way back to the middle and just switch sides. So if you had bumped your hips to the left, you'll definitely need to bump your hips a little bit to the right. And again, just let the knees fall to the left. Try to allow your spine to stay in one line. Allow the knees to come all the way back to the middle. Planting the feet on the floor. Walk your feet a little bit wider than your hips or towards the edges of your mat. And just allow the knees to knock towards each other. So they're trying to come towards each other. It doesn't matter if they touch. Then also feel like they're trying to press a little forward. So just kind of check in with your low back. And if it's too much, you want to kind of resist a little bit in the pelvis and not let them go as far forward. Let the knees pull apart. And take just your right leg towards a butterfly shape. So let the knee drop out to the side and let the left leg come long on the mat. So come back to that tree that we did standing. And this is the same thing, just lying on your back. So you might have a little bit more resistance of the right knee going to the right side. So please add, like roll up your mat, add a block or a pillow or a blanket to lift the knee up if it's too much. Because the legs aren't doing the same thing, it might feel as if it's trying to pull a little bit more, but it also could just be a new sensation. So just kind of take a moment to observe. Are you trying to resist it, or does it actually need a little bit of support? I'm just gonna take 2 more deep breaths in this fallen tree. Try to be as passive as you can. Notice the places where you're trying to be a little bit more active, finishing this breath. Allow the right knee to come back up to the side. So let's extend both legs first. And just allow your left leg to find that partial butterfly, finding fallen tree on the other side. So again, when you first get there, kind of notice if it's just a new sensation or if you need to add a little bit of extra support, and either way is perfect. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. The breath is a great indicator if something is feeling a little bit more challenging. What happens to the breath? Just one more here. Let the left knee point back up to the sky. Extend the left leg long. And you might just pause here. We're gonna move into our Shavasana. You might just pause right here and you're ready to go. If you need any extra support, please add something underneath the knees. If you don't have something nearby, but you're like near a couch, you can always slide the legs onto the couch. That's really nice. If laying on your back is not working for you this morning, or we've been there for a little bit today as well, you can always roll onto your side. I just recommend finding something that feels pretty passive. So a seated position is fine too, but just kind of add a little bit of extra support around your body so that way you're not trying so hard to hold yourself up. Yeah. Allowing your breath to soften. Taking these last few minutes in complete and total gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. Starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Inviting small movements back in. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. Stretching your arms up overhead. Taking a full body stretch. Rolling on to one side. Letting the weight lift up off of your spine. Using the strength of your arms, beginning to press yourself up. Coming into a comfortable seat. And keeping the focus inside. Bringing your hands to your heart center, gently bow your head. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.